What's up, guys? This is Mac Deno and I'm back on Making Changes, doing the damn thing. And I come from Hawaiian Gardens. We're here to talk about some stuff again.
Throughout the hard times, we're still making changes. Find the ways to help each other, many similar faces. There's a way, meditation and pray. God could pave the way, many better days in a peaceful place where we lay. A different state of mind in these crazy days. I wait on.
And I wanted to come on here and talk about men's mental health because I know a lot of us, including myself, for me, I use laughter and making other people laugh and joking to hide a lot of pain that I have. Because just for some reason, I have a lot of stuff that's just like not, like I have my own feelings like in the archives. I just leave it there. And I shouldn't do that because some things need to be addressed. And I think for sure a lot of men hide that and oppress it when you should address it. So, for my advice for stuff like that, like I said, I go through a lot of stuff right now. I'm actually like, I guess in between places. I would say like homeless right now. So from the last time when we talked, I was in a good place, but just like everything, sometimes there's a bump in the road and you just gotta figure that out when you get there. So, because the first time I had a place I was staying, I was seeing my kids more often. I was in a relationship. I'm doing caregiving, but now I don't have a place to stay. I'm not seeing my kids that much. I'm not in a relationship, so from the last time, it kind of changed dramatically. So I'm trying to like deal with that shit, and I think I'm posting way more now because for me, my Instagram and my videos and making you guys laugh, like fucking it's like a medicine for me. Because if I know sometimes there'll be days if I get off my stuff for like a day and people are like, where you at? You all right? What's going on? You're not posting, you're not doing this. And I'm like, and in my head sometimes I'm like, fuck, dude, like, I can't do it right now. Like, I'm like, I need to fucking stop and I need to take a second and realize that even though I'm doing this to make your day better, I still got to figure out my life, and it's like, sometimes I feel like maybe I spend too much time on there, but because I was going to delete my shit. Like, I was really going to delete it for a little bit and just take a break. And one of my homies was telling me, he's, hey, man, he goes, I know you're going through some shit. Little P, the homie Little P hit me up. And he told me, he's like, you know what, man? He goes, I know you're going through some stuff. He's like, but try to keep posting at least once a week or something because he's like, I see that you're doing good and I would hate to see you let it all go and let that kind of take over your success. So shout out to that for Lil P because he was a big help of me coming back. Because he was like, you help so many people and it would be a shame to see you just like lose that all. Because everything that you build and everything now, like I'm almost at 40,000. Just the other day, Paula Deanda, you know her? I went to go to the Art Laboe show, and she performed, and I actually was singing one of her songs, and the homegirl recorded me, so I shared it, and she liked it, and I was like, what? So stuff like that, where it's like people notice you, and see you, and sometimes even though I know I have a lot of followers, sometimes I don't feel like I'm being noticed or seen, or maybe because I put up that like mask so people think like, oh, he's cool, but it's like deep down I'm not. It's like, and I'm trying to and like you said, the mental health, I'm trying to figure it out myself because it's tough being a man and being a father and it's tough being a father when you're so active with your children, because any other guy like that was in my situation would have left to like another state. One of my brothers told me that I can go live in Oklahoma with him. But I was like, fuck, like, I can't leave my kids, And he was telling me, he's like, dude, if you come out here, I'll get you a good job. You can get a house like within a year. And I'm like, yeah, but what am I going to be doing it for? Because my kids are not going to be there. Like, they're over here. I even have an uncle that wants me to go to Victorville. And that's not even that far, but I still wouldn't be able to take him to school anymore. It's like, so that's where it comes where a lot of people told me, like, like, you're homeless because you want to be. And I'm like, yeah, because I could go somewhere and be comfortable. But how comfortable would I really be if the whole point of my life is my children? And if they're not there, then how can I be happy? And then it's so sad that it's normalized that fathers are not around.
Yeah.
And The one thing that really ticks me off sometimes is when a woman is trying to tell me how to be a father, or saying like, oh, well, you should do this, you should do that. And I'm like, you know what? Like, it's so sad that you don't know what a real father looks like, that you think that I should do what your baby daddy did. And you're okay with it. Because when you see a man that's actually being there for his kids or hustling for them and not having time and stuff, like you're not used to that. Because your own kid's father dipped and did what he had to do for himself. You know, and sometimes that gets like a little annoying sometimes because, like I said, and I think maybe a big part of it is because their mom has somebody else. So the way I see it is the less I have with them, the more he does. And the way I see it is that when I don't do it, she has him do it. And it's like the less I do for my children, they're gonna think like, damn, dad's not here, but he is. And I feel like I'm gonna lose them because I'm gonna leave them. Because the way women tell me that, oh, if you leave, you can do better for them. Yeah, but if I feel like I leave them right now and I do better later, right now it's crucial. You know, my daughter's 7 and my son is 5. You know, what if I don't get better till they're 8, 13, 14? They're not gonna be the same kids that I had. You know, and then I'm gonna miss that time with them. And all they're gonna remember when they were kids is that guy. And I'm just not willing to let another man raise my children. And you know what I mean? Like I said, other people are like, oh, it's because you still love her. I don't love her anymore. You know, we did our thing. It went away. It's my children that's still part of me, you know? Yeah. And it's like, she's married. I'm happy for her and him. But it's like that those two, that's still me. That's still a part of me. You know, and it's like, I don't want to lose my kids, you know? Because kids are kids. You can buy them something, they'll be like, oh yeah, we like you. You know, because like I said, I lost my room and they still go home to her and their place. I can't get them toys or something. They have a bunch of toys. You know, it's like, I feel like everything I can't do, it's happening over there. And the one thing that I can't control is my presence. And I'm not about to take that from them. Yeah. So if I got to sleep in my car till they're 18, then fuck it. That's where I'll be at. You know, because sometimes I sleep down the street from their house just so I'm able to take them to school. Yeah. You know, and it's like easier because then I can be there and I won't be late. Because like my sister wants me to stay in Almonte with her, but if I miss 1 minute of like when I got to go back, I'm in that traffic. And then what am I saying? Oh, I can't go. I can't take them. And then who's taking them? Homeboy is. You know, and it's like, and I feel like the further I go, the less time I have with them. So it's like, that's why if I was trying to find something in Santana so I could be close to my kids. And a lot of people don't get that. And it chips me out sometimes, the things people tell me. And I'm like, well, look, I'm done with this conversation. They're like, well, I know you don't want to hear it. I'm not leaving my kids. Yeah. And then there's sometimes too where some girls will be like, oh, well, if I needed to leave, I would leave. And I go, your kids live with you. Yeah. I respect women with their kids and if the dads ain't there, but one thing you women need to understand is you can't tell a man how to be a father or what it feels like to be a father because you're not a father. Because some girls are like, well, I do it both. I'm the dad and the mom. No, you're not. You're the mom. Yeah. And you're doing it and that's good. And I'm proud of you, but you're not the father. And your kids need their father. Yeah. You know, and we play a big part. The ones that care, actually. But like I said, I'm not going to risk the time I have with my kids. Because, you know, because like I said, I grew up homeless and we were always with my parents. Even though the crazy stuff, at least all the other interview, but I remember every moment with them. And I don't want them to be like, oh, I remember when, well, dad wasn't there. Or dad wasn't there. And then they get older and they're like, well, you already been gone, so we're used to it. Yeah. I don't want them to get used to not seeing me.
So, a quick little story, right? Growing up, no matter what my mom went through, we were always with her. She never, ever, like, let us go. Fucking CPS never took us from her. None of that. She made sure that we were always with her, right? So then when my brother ended up getting into a relationship, unfortunately, they took the kids away from his, at that time, the girl that he was with. And it really drained him so much, like, emotionally, because afterwards, like, once everything was just done, he would like literally cry anytime that he would drink. It was just like,
I'm just thinking about that.
yeah. So to the point where he was like, I don't understand. Like, we had it really rough growing up, and my mom made sure that nobody ever took us from her.
Yeah.
How could anyone just give up on their kids? But, you know, it's one of those things where we don't know what she was going through. Unfortunately, we got to think like that.
Yeah.
We can't just blame her, because she's probably going through fighting her own battles in her own mind, you know?
Yeah.
But it's once again one of those things. In a perfect world, it would be a great place if we would just not judge people.
Yeah.
But
no, but I mean, like you said, it comes with the territory of, like I said, like me not being from a hood, but I dress like it. So if I get hit up or the cops pull me over, how could I get mad? It comes with the territory of what I look like. So I understand that when I do post things. But that's why I like being able to be open on that stuff, because think about, like, say if we were having a conversation right now and I'm telling you something, then you're giving me your opinion, but I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to vent.
yeah.
You know, because sometimes when you're trying to vent to somebody, then they tell you something that you already know you're doing wrong. You're like, why are you telling me? I know I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you so you can tell me that. I just want to open up.
Yep.
So sometimes I feel like when I do that on there, I could just put my phone down and I don't have to hear nobody's opinion. Because it's like, I want to open up and it helps people out. Because I get messages and people are thanking me. And I mean, especially when I did the last interview, like people were like, man, that helped me out because I went through that and I felt like I was alone. And I love that. You know, like I would never change my past because I know that it helps people's futures. And that's amazing, you know, and that's why I make my videos. I do my funny stuff. I even ask people like, hey, what would you like to see? What beats do you want me to rap on? Like, what things you want me to talk about? Like, I put my questionnaires and people ask me questions, and I love to interact with my followers. It's amazing.
How old were you when you started rapping or even just putting anything together?
Oh shit. Well, when I was younger, like 10 and 11, when I was going through everything we were going through, my mom used to tell us to write it down. And I was like, for what? So I could fucking read it and remember the shit we went through. You know, she's like, no, just write it down. So I actually started doing poems. And I would write poems. And my first poem, I wrote about my dad. And that was because I felt like he didn't love me. Because he was really rough on me. And I just was like, fuck, like, you fucking treat my sister like a queen, you know? Like, you treat me like I'm a stepkid. So I remember that when I wrote him a poem, and I would always write stuff, and I was just always writing things when I was young. And then when I was 17, my cousin Oli, he plays guitar, he plays bass, drums, all this shit. And we were talking about music, and he made a beat for us. And my first song I wrote was called Sorry. And I had my cousin Geneva on it, and she sang the hook. And I wrote my verse and her hook. And I was 17 and we put it together, and that was my first one. And that one was like, it still was kind of like, you know, because I was young and I didn't know my like vocals, my tune. I didn't know when to start or like my rhythm. But it was to hear that shit and like listen to it and know that I wrote it, spoke it, and then put it out there was dope. You know, I was doing music for a minute, for almost like from being 17 to like 20, 22, 23. And then I had my kids and, you know, kind of just focused more on that. Then I was still doing music. I did like 3 shows once, and that was pretty cool. You know, it's way easier than stand-up.
Yeah?
That's for sure. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'd rather do music. Because if you think about it, you can put a sick beat on and rap, and the music's so loud that you can't hear people booing you. Or they're just vibing. Because they probably won't even hear what you're saying, but if the beat's hard, you know what I'm saying? Like today's music, that shit's trash, but people just like the beat. But in stand-up, I'm the beat. I'm the music. Like,
yeah.
This is what you're going to look at me like, and if I don't say nothing, this is what you hear. You know, and if I say the wrong thing, and someone doesn't laugh, and that's like, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I'm like, I'd rather walk through an alley full of cholos than do that shit. You know, because it's like, it's so nerve-wracking to stand up there and people are just looking at you and you don't know these people. At least you gotta tell jokes with you or him, or because I know you guys, and I know what I can say, or my family, you know what your limits are. Yeah. And you know what you can say because they're like, I'm cool with that. But complete strangers, the way the world is now, I made one joke about it, my homie in a wheelchair, and it didn't go well, and it scared the shit out of me because nobody laughed. And he's the one that told me I could do it, you know. So when I went up there, I went up there and some guy was talking about leaning like a cholo, and I was like, man, I do that dance. I go, but I can't do it with my homeboy. I go, because he's in a wheelchair. I go, so every time I move my elbows, I hit him in the head. And I go, I ain't trying to paralyze him more. And everybody was like, meow. And then, but then he was like, hell yeah. And when they turned around, they saw him in the wheelchair, and then they started laughing because he made it okay. But I was like, fuck. But the last time I made a wheelchair joke, it was with the homeboy Big Temps. And he told me, he goes, hey, fool, if you, because it was my first show.
Yeah.
And he came through, and he was like, hey, man, if you feel like you're stuck, use me, you know? And I'm like, fool, you sure? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right. So when I went up there, I was doing my thing, and I saw him, and I go, hey, man, shout out to the homeboy Temps. I was like, I told that fool to roll through, and he literally did. And everybody looked, and everybody laughed. But it was, you know, because it was just perfect timing, I guess. So, but you got to remember, I guess sometimes the same joke won't work everywhere, you know? Because I was like, oh, it was so scary because I think that was like my third time doing stand-up. And it was like, shit. Like, I don't want to get canceled already, you know? Because everybody's so sensitive. I'm like, man, they don't even know my homie said I could do the joke. And then when I did it, they're all like, oh, I ain't right. I'm like, oh, shit. So.
Then why'd you come?
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
get out of here.
Bro, I don't understand that. I don't really understand it. But I love. You know what's funny is, shout out to my old teacher, Mr. Burnett, at Tracy High School. He told me to do this shit when I was younger. He told me in class, he goes, hey, you know, he goes, when you get out of school, you know, you should really look into doing stand-up. And I was like, stand-up? Because I was just a fucking class clown, you know? I was just talking my shit. And he was like, no, he goes, you're funny. He goes, you should really do stand-up. And I go, I can't do stand-up. And he goes, what do you mean, why not? And I was like, because I can't make people laugh if they're waiting for it. That was always my thing. Like, if you're like, make me laugh, I'll be like, oh, fuck, you know? I go, it has to just come.
Make me laugh.
And I was like, he goes, so if I was going to give you $1 million right now, you couldn't make me laugh? I said, motherfucker, I'll tickle your ass. And he started laughing. He goes, you see? I go, but I'm just saying, like, I'm going to tickle you for that money, you know? But I can't be put on the spot.
Yeah.
So it's funny when I started doing stand-up, I thought of him because he was the first person that really told me that shit. Because his little rule in school was, well, in class, if you make a joke and nobody laughs, I'm going to take credit from you guys. He goes, but if you make a joke and we laugh, you're going to get credit. So that's the only reason I passed that class. So it was cool.
How was it after being on the interview the first time? How was it for you just being able to open up about all that to people? Or was it just something that you mentally prepared yourself and you were like, fuck it, I'm going to do it?
Well, I've talked about that before, but I guess to like people I knew, I guess, you know, and sometimes because girls have come to me to things and I would open up to them. Mm-hmm. But for like this, it was the first time for sure. And it was scary, but exciting because I knew that it was going to help people. And if my little 30 minutes or an hour of uncomfortableness or being afraid or the fear was going to help people, then it was okay for me to do that, you know? And like I said, I asked my mom if I could talk about it. She said it was fine, my sister, and as long as they were okay with it, then, you know, then it was okay. But, because like I said, I'm 32 years old and that shit still haunts me, you know? And it sucks because I look at my daughter and my son and I could never really, I couldn't imagine putting them through that, you know? And it's like, I know my mom and dad didn't do it purposely, but just the life that they were leading got us there, you know? And it's like, I think that's why I try so hard not to fail, because I see where it can go. And unfortunately, when my mom and dad fell into life, whatever was going on, we went with them. And I mean, at the time, nobody could have been like, hey man, this is going to help you in the future or make you better. I would have been like, you know what I mean? Because going through it, you don't want to hear any of that.
Yeah.
But even though I know it made me a better person, it doesn't mean I'm going to put my kids through it so that they can be better people as well, you know? Because I don't know what it might do to them.
Do you have conversations with your kids? Do they know? Do they ask you where you're staying at? Why can't they come visit you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, my daughter's pretty, like, on it with stuff like that. Because, I mean, unfortunately, she listens. So I'm pretty sure she heard my sister and me talking about that I had to move out and I didn't know where I was going to go. And stuff like that. I mean, sometimes I might forget when I have my blanket in the back seat or something like that because I'm in a rush. And then she's like, "Why is your blanket back here?" And I'm like, "Oh, damn." Just because the other day too, it hurt me when my son's like, "Dad, how come I can't go with you? Like, I want to go with you." And I was like, "Well, unfortunately right now, we can't." I go, so Daddy's going through something right now and I have to figure it out. But I tell him just the other day, I was like, "You guys know that when I drop you guys off after school, it doesn't mean I don't want you guys or that I want to drop you off. I have to. And because I have to go to work because I'm trying to figure things out." I was like, right now, Daddy's in a place where it's hard right now for him. And I go, but just know that just because I'm dropping you off doesn't mean I don't want to be with you or I don't love you or I don't miss you because I think about you guys all the time. Mm-hmm. I go, but just know that I do what I have to do so I can take you to school in the morning and I can pick you up. So I do let them know so that way they're not just thinking like, "Oh, this fool's just dipping out on us,"
Yeah.
But like I said, it does suck sometimes because even though my ex is in a better place, I guess, and her situation is a little, I guess, more stable than I am, it kind of feels sometimes like, damn, like the kids are getting what they can over there and more. And I'm like, fuck, I can't even give them the little stuff. And it's like, to me, that fucking sucks because they're my kids.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to do things for them. But it's like, I understand right now that unfortunately I can't. But like I said, me being around, like I've had people tell me multiple times that didn't have dads. They're like, "Bro, like you being there is fucking everything." They're like, "I'm fucking 40 years old or 30 years old and I still remember my dad not being there." Mm-hmm. And they go, "And I hate him." They're like, they even told me, they're like, "If my dad would have just came and picked me up or took me to school or this," they go, "You're doing all that, man." And they're going to remember that. So that helps me a lot. Because sometimes I feel like a failed father. And then I'm fucking up because I should have more for them. But like I said, life fucking happens and we can't control it.
Yeah.
My mom used to tell me all the time, like, you make plans and God laughs. And I used to take that to heart when I was a kid. I was like, why would he laugh? Like, why would he be like, "Ha, yeah, right?" And she's like, "It's not like that. It just means you're planning, I'm going to go on vacation next week and you might die the week before." That's what that means. Mm-hmm. And she's like, that you can make all these plans in the world, but whatever God has set for you is what's set. And like I said, I was like, you know what? I actually like broke down and was like, "You know what, God?" I was like, "If this is where you want me to be, then this is where I'm going to be. If I got to be in the backseat of my car or motel to motel, then fuck it. Just tell me where I'm going."
What was the reason that you had to leave from where you were at?
The person I was renting from, there was some shit going on in the apartment, but they had gotten evicted. Mm-hmm. And I was renting a room from him. And they didn't know I was there.
Oh.
So he wanted to fight it, but I was like, you know what? Like, I'd rather just go now because what if one day I come and it's locked? All my shit's in there,
Yeah, all your stuff.
So, like I said, there was people like my sister, she offered for me to stay there, but, she has her own life going on, and I don't need to be adding to it. And my brothers live in different states. I don't really have close family that would take me in. And even if I did, I'm not going to burden anybody with my stuff,
Yeah.
And everybody I have is in mostly LA County or Hawaiian Gardens and stuff. And my kids are in Orange County, and that's where I'm trying to stay.
And I know that people have asked you plenty of times, well, how come? But it goes back to the same thing. It's not even about staying like with your parents or your family members. It's you're trying to be closer to your kids.
Yeah. Because like I said, the one thing my parents taught me was all we have is each other, When I mean, even though I fucking was a big part of my kids and family fucking breaking, I'm still trying to keep it together with me and them. Because just because I told my kids, just because me and your mom are not together doesn't mean we're not family. And I'm still gonna be here. Whether she moved on, I'm still here for you guys.
So you would agree that it's very important to be completely honest with your kids and talk to them about stuff like that?
Yes, I don't lie to my kids if they ask me. I had a real big problem with my ex because of that. Because say, "Why you tell me?" If they ask me, I'm gonna tell them. Like, I'm not gonna lie to my kids because when it comes out, I don't want them to hate me. Yeah. Because eventually, they need to know life happens. Mm-hmm. It's not all butterflies and rainbows and, life's fucked up. Yeah. And I told her, I go, just because your life's not fucking up right now, that's good. But mine is. And I'm still trying to figure it out. So And my kids are the only things that keep me going. Because if I didn't have them, fuck, I don't know.
When it comes down to it, for example, right? Steve comes from Rialto.
Oh damn.
As far as fuck, right? He takes time away from his kid, like a lot of time. And so when we film, you already know it's like we're here sometimes for an hour, sometimes 2 hours. Last time we shot for what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
We've shot up to 3 hours. We were fucking there till like fucking 2 a.m, close to 3. And you know what people don't tend to see is all the hard work that he's putting into like the editing, because it takes a long time for him to actually put things together.
I do my editing when I do my music videos and stuff, and it is a bitch. Because you get one thing off and you're like, it messes up the whole thing. You're like, well, now I gotta start over.
So he has to do
I feel it, dog.
2 cameras, and then on top of that, make sure that the audio goes in properly, right?
Yeah, I know.
Aside from everything else that he does. But when it comes down to it, it's like people don't understand the frustration once when it comes down to, hey, you know, I didn't like all that. Can we just redo the whole thing? For example.
Yeah,
you know,
that's...
And then it comes down to, hey, you know, all this time that he's spending away from his kid, and you're really gonna do something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why no lie. I like don't even want to date because of that. Because if, say I make time for somebody and then I was supposed to have my kid, and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it's okay for us to be selfish, because sometimes we need somebody. We need daddy time or alone time. And sometimes I might be being accompanied by somebody who's the opposite sex, whatever the fuck. But I swear, when I do that, and I feel bad because I'm like, damn, I could have got my kids right now. But I'm like, you know what? Because the thing that I couldn't understand was how my ex moved on so fast, and she's living her life, and I was still doing everything to keep her happy and my kids. And I was like, well, when do I get to live? You know, like, she's happy, that's good. But why am I happy? Why do I keep stopping my life while she continues to live hers? So when I do that, and if somebody doesn't come through, or like some dumb shit, it's like do you realize I could have been with my kids? Mm-hmm. And I took that time away to take you out, or to hang out with you, or to even just fucking sit at the beach, whatever it is. Doesn't even matter. And sometimes, like I said, girls that don't have good baby daddies don't get that shit. And it sucks, because they're like, why are you so mad? I'm like, I'm mad because I could have been with my kids. You know, like, they're my first priority, but sometimes I got to put me first. And if I want to hang out with somebody because I need that release, or just that adult conversation, you know, sometimes as an adult, we can't just always be around kids, and it's hard. You know, and it's hard. Like, I respect single mothers, because when I have my kids, I'm by myself. You know, I'm with them. If my son has to use the restroom, guess what? My daughter's got to go with us. You know, there's no like, oh, well, stay with your mom, or stay with my girlfriend, stay with my sister, stay with your grandma. I mean, when they're around, yeah. But most of the time, I won't take them over there, because I feel like I'm just burying them with my kids. Because my sister does do a lot, and I love her for that. But they're my kids, you know? So sometimes I don't even take them, and I take them by myself, and I'm like, fuck, trying to get this, I'm trying to get this. It's hard. So if I do take that time away from it, I mean, but I love it. But if I do take time away from my kids to give somebody time, and you don't fucking respect that, that's like, that shit pisses me off. Mm-hmm. You know, and then sometimes girls like, well, my bad, I didn't know. I was like, what do you mean? Like, you got kids, you understand, like, the whole situation, you know? Like, that sucks, because, like I said, when we take time to do something, or say if you do it to somebody's an event, or, like, I've done videos, too, for people, like, and they're like, oh, no, well, never mind. You're like, what do you mean, never mind? Like, I made this time, and they're like, oh, well, what about tomorrow? I'm like, there is no tomorrow. It's today.
I'm making time for you.
I made this window that, oh, you're so busy. I'm like, yeah, I work a lot. I'm on the Instagram. Oh, your Instagram, that's a big old fucking problem. That's why I think low-key, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm meant to be with nobody right now at all, because, like I said, the Instagram's a big thing. And it's like...
But it also comes into play where it's their insecurities that are showing.
Oh, yeah.
Because clearly they know that you have a large following. Clearly they know that you're out there, like, You know, everybody knows who you are. You're a comedian on top of that. Yeah. And plus, you know, you got to do your thing. But if they can't respect that and if they're going to do a little too much.
Yeah, then it's crazy because
it's like you knew what you were signing up for.
Exactly. You know the job was dangerous when you took it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, homie? You got in the car, homie, shoot that fool. I'd say. But yeah, it's like...
Shoot it!
It's a trip because what sucks is I can't even have normal conversations with nobody because the moment I'm talking to somebody's like, oh, you know, we used to talk or we used to do this. It's like, did you hear keyword, homie? Used to. Why did we stop? Maybe we didn't connect. Maybe we didn't fall through. Maybe you didn't like me. Maybe I didn't like you. Why must that be in every fucking conversation now? It's like, damn, I can't even talk to somebody because somebody else is like, oh, well, we used to. But are we still? Like, you know what I mean? And that sucks because I remember
they just want to be connected somehow and be relevant when it's like, stop.
Dude.
Oh, I don't even know you, girl.
It's a trip. It's like,
just kidding.
In my head, it's like, I really don't get it. You know, it's like, because me, if I messed around with some chick and my homie was like, hey, and he's telling me like, oh, I like this girl. We've been whoop-de-whoop, blah, blah, blah. She might be the one. And then I see her and I know we used to mess around, but it was nothing. I'm not going to be like, hey, fool, we used to fuck. Like, why would I do that to him? You know what I'm saying? Why would I do that to him? Maybe she's the one for him.
Yeah.
She wasn't the one for me.
Yeah.
But because she wasn't the one for me, now my homies can't talk to her? The fuck? Like, that right there, I don't know. I never really believed
Understood
in that.
that.
I don't because like just because we didn't work out, now if she's off limits to people that I know, like I don't know. I'm like that shit's crazy. And then girl, a lot of girls do that shit. Like, oh, you're talking to him? Mm-hmm. It's like shut the fuck up. Like,
when you knew me, I wasn't the same person as I am now. So therefore, you know, but it's just haters.
And then I have this thing too, like some girls have asked me about it because I go by Dino, you know, my real name's Robbie. So a lot of girls don't hit me up like, hey, they'll be like, hey, Robbie, and I'm like, it's Dino. And they're like, no, well, it's Robbie. I go, no, it's Dino. And I go, you don't get that privilege, you know? And they're like, the fuck does that mean? I was like, there's Robbie and there's Dino. Robbie is the guy that if I'm in a relationship with you and your boyfriend, you get Robbie. I respect you, I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna treat you good, you're gonna be my everything. Dino, I'm just doing my shit. If we fuck around, I'm cool, I'm not gonna disrespect it, but we're not together. And you're gonna get what we get and what I give and what we have time for. That's Dino, that's the difference. So the people that have been asking me that, that's the difference. Robbie is the relationship fool, Dino is the fool just doing his damn thing. And right now I'm just being Dino. And like I said, if you guys wanna like, and then it sucks too, like, cause a lot of girls or even guys too, they want to hang out. I mean, I'm a good hang, I guess. I don't know, like, so if someone has extra ticket, they tell me, I'm like, fuck, vámonos, you know?
Well, cause I mean, and then again, it also, it's the way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
People like being around people that have good energy.
Yeah. No, then I posted and some girls like, oh, dang, you ain't. I'm like, what the oh, God, it's crazy. Like, and then since I'm so, like, on my stuff, I get messages like, oh, you can't even write back or you're not even checking your messages. I'm like, I have a goal. Like, I'm really trying to reach some shit right here. And, like, I'm not even being a dick. It's just like, this is what I'm focused on. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm at work and if sometimes, oh, what you're posting, I'm like, this is so easy just to be like, I told you earlier, just to be like, hey, post. I don't got to be like, oh, fuck, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, what's your favorite food? What's your soul? Who's your favorite food? Like, I'm like, you know, what are your goals and dreams? And I'm like, fuck, let me just post it. Like, you know, and it sucks that people get mad, but it's like, this is just what I'm doing. And to be honest, like I told them, like, look, like the last time I ever said that girls were hitting me up, I was like, look, man, I'm in my fucking car right now. I'm a caregiver. Like, I'm trying to figure out my shit. I don't have a house. I'm homeless. I'm struggling. So if you want to get at me, there it is. Full blown shit. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like I said, it's crazy because I was talking to my homegirl about it.
But hey, at least you have a job.
Yeah.
And a car.
Yeah. That's why I have my house on wheels.
That's right. That's right.
It's like, that's why if it gets towed, for the taking my car in my house. So I'm gonna sleep on this couch right now. I'm like, hey guys, good night, interview, I'm going to bed. And then even that right there, people trip out because they're like, fool, how the fuck are you laughing about that? You know, I'm like, about what? They're like, you're fucking, like, you're in your car, fool. I'm like, and? You know, because my sister, she was like, fool, I'm sorry, brother. And I'm like, for what? And she said, because you're in your car. I was like, fool, we did it as kids. I go, at least I got my own room. When we were kids, we were in a van all fucking munched up, you know? Like sardines. I'm like, I'm not tripping. Like, as long as I get to see my kids, like, I'm cool. only thing that hurts me is I can't keep them somewhere. I mean, if they're with me, I go to my sister's pad and I can keep them for the weekend, you know, but I still see them. You know, like I said, if I gotta stay like that until they're old enough to understand, then fuck it, so be it. You know, I'm not gonna leave them. I'm not. I'm not gonna leave them so I can get a pad and a nice job and a new family. Fuck no.
Yeah.
I can't do that because they're my family.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and I know if I get another girl pregnant, kids are a lot, and I'm gonna have to be over here focusing on this family now, and what about them? And I'm not willing to do that. Even my ex goes, what if we move? I go, where are we moving to? She's like, I go, yeah. Where are we going? If you move, I move. You know, they're my heart, soul, they're my everything. I can't function without them. You know, so I'm like, fuck. I think that's why I push so much on this Instagram stuff, because I feel like when I'm doing my rapping, my comedy, or like when I was doing my side jobs, or like, you know, like my podcast, or I feel like I'm digging for fucking oil, and eventually one of these holes are gonna give, you know, and when it does, I'll be able to take care of my kids. That's what I want. I want them to be able to. It hurts me now because, look, if something happens over there, I don't have a home for them to go to. So that's what hurts me. Because I can't save them. So that's why I'm pushing to fucking work more hours and figure something out, you know? But I'm not gonna give up. That's for sure. I've been through too much fucking shit to go back.
How hard is it not to fall back into pretty much like drinking and all that?
Well, I fell back into drinking, but not as bad. I'm not gonna lie. Because the last time we talked, I wasn't drinking, but like I said, everything that happened after that interview, it was like, fuck. But it's not like it was. Sometimes if I just drink one here, but I'm like, fuck. Like, what am I doing? You know, because drinking or drugs or even sex or banging or whatever the fuck anybody does to numb the pain is for the moment. But you gotta remember too, those pleasures might be for the moment, but what can happen from it could be permanent.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't fucking want, is to wake up in jail. And then that would even hurt me more because I'm gonna be the reason why I took myself from my kids, you know? So, but it's tough because it's stupid to say this, but I don't feel like I have anybody, you know? Like, because like everybody that I do can have their things going on. And like, even though I have all these people, like, oh, you have all these followers, or you have all these bitches, it's like, the fuck, they're not there. Like, they're not. It's that soul connection that's what I need, you know. Like, it's like your mom or your sister, like my dad, or somebody that's been there. And even then, like, I don't want to fucking tell them things because I don't want them to worry. You know, like my sister's straight, she's got her own shit to worry about, and now she gotta be like, oh, where's my brother gonna live? Is he okay? Like. Yeah, I don't want to be doing that, you know, but, and then people too, they're like, oh, well, you shouldn't even be telling people you're homeless. I'm like, for what? There's people that are homeless too right now too that follow me. They'll be like, hey, you know what, dude, like, some food a day. He's like, hey, before you still in your car? And I was like, yeah. He goes, how the fuck do you do it, dog? And I'm like, do what? He's like, be in your car and still do normal shit. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because I got to, dog. Like, being in the car it's just an uncomfortable spot. I'm not in a fucking box that's locked. It's just not permanent. It's just where God wants me to be right now, you know?
Well, technically, it's where you decide to be.
Yeah, that too, but yeah, you're right on that.
But it's okay because, you know what?
Hey, he made me this way.
You made me strong. Look at you.
Because sometimes too, you know, people are like, you know what, like, you're a good father, and I go, you know, sometimes I know I am, but it sucks because, like, any other food would have been gone, you know?
Well, the thing also is that society makes it seem, it's just so much that they expect from men to just, you have to have it all together. You have to have a home. You have to have a really good job by a certain age. And it's like the pressure of it somehow ends up like bringing men down to the point where they're just like, fuck, I'm not doing enough. When in reality, just being there for your kids is so much more than you could ever imagine. Yeah. Because like you said, there's so many parents, there's so many parents, because even women have stepped out and just left. But there's so many fathers that aren't there. They're just quick to just be like, fuck that, I'm not going to struggle with that.
Yeah, and they do better for themselves.
Yeah. And forget completely about their kids.
Yeah,
and they do not care.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that. Like,
maybe I can't even say that maybe because they never went through something like that, because there's some people, I guess we have choices. You could either be a piece of shit because of what you went through, or decide to make a difference in your life and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to change things around. I'm going to make that change in my life so I won't continue with the same cycle as my parents did, or even like my friends, because you could break generational curses also with your friendships.
Yeah.
Your friends are so used to having friends that act this certain way and do this certain type of thing. And it's like you're kind of going in the same pattern, but then you're just like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do. And we're going to talk about this.
That's kind of like in relationships. If you listen to your friend who's fucking broken and loan and telling you like, yeah, he's cheating. And is he? Yeah. Because you went through that doesn't mean it's happening here. You know? But like the thing too, it sucks is like, because people tell me, or girls, I respect everybody's lives and what they go through. But if you're getting assistance, you know, like that's fine. But don't act like you're doing that shit by yourself. Because there's some girls that are like, oh, well, if I can do it, I have this, I have a pad. And I'm like, fool, you're on Section 8.
Yeah.
You got food stamps. That's cool. I ain't even knocking that shit. But don't come at me and be like, oh, well, you can do it, do this, do that. It's like, if I do it, I have to actually get an apartment by myself, no Section 8, because I don't have my kids. I can't get welfare because I still do work. But I have to have a down payment, the first down, and then the deposit. I can't do that by myself.
I heard, and I hope it's true because it would help so many people out. But I heard that as of July, no down payments are required for you to move into a place, and they won't check your credit.
Really?
As long as you're able to pay for it, and I don't quote me on this, but be able to show proof that you have an income.
On. Honey said it.
Hey, take this off.
Honey said it.
Like I said, don't quote me on this. Anyways, but hopefully it's true. Something similar to that.
No, because like, and then with me, it sucks because like, if it's not one thing, it's another thing. Like, I'm trying to get like my tags right now because I've been due since last July.
Okay, so check this out. Now, one thing that we have to remember, I don't want to say rule number one, but the first thing that we have to do is get ourselves out of that. I'm not saying that it's a victim mentality, but get ourselves out of that. Maybe what life is showing you is you got to get on your shit. Why since last July?
Shit, because I didn't have the money for it. Because all my money was going to my rent and then my car and the insurance, right? So then when I was like, all right, cool. I'm good right now. I'm going to work this one. And then I wasn't working for 4 months. And I was like...
I'm gonna tell you something, right? Don't beat yourself up for anything that's going on because, trust me, it's like that for everyone.
No, I know. And that's why I don't like telling people shit.
But look. What I'm trying to say is... don't feel that you're like the only one going through it because trust me, it's a lot of people, but people just don't say shit.
Yeah. No, that's why like I've had to open up to somebody, and I remember I was typing my stuff, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, well," they're like, "Oh, my dad just died, my mom just died," and I was like, "Fuck!" I'm like, that's why I don't even like say shit or like really try to beat myself about it because I know. But I hate when someone's like, "Oh, well, just know someone has it worse." I hate when someone says that because. In my mind, I'm like, so I'm supposed to be like, well, at least I'm not that guy. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's not going to help your situation.
It's not. And even if whatever you're going through, this is my struggle. So it's like, it's what I'm going through. So I'm not going to use yours. You know what I'm saying? Because it's affecting me different than it would affect you.
Yeah. So
even then, if you're going through worse that it looks like, this might be the worst for me.
So the only reason why I speak on it is because I've been there. I've been there plenty of times. To the point where I'm just like, fuck. If it's not one thing, it's another. And I'm in this fucking hole and you just feel like you're drowning, right? And at that moment, in all reality, you really do need somebody to be there for you. Because you can't do it by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You can't. Nobody could do this shit by themselves. So you are trying so hard and like hats off to you, right? hats off to you because you're like holding it. But you need somebody to be there for you. You know, and like you said, it sucks because everybody's like, yeah, I'm here for you and all these followers and whatever, but they're not. And I've heard you talked about that. And I think that's where I was trying to get to. That you've talked about that on your live, well, not on your lives, but when you go and you talk about like the things that you've been through, right? All you girls talking about, yeah, you know, if we could be together, but you're not. You're not even trying to go there with me. So don't play with me right now because I'm in this point in my life where I'm really going through something. Yeah. And if you're going to tell me that you're going to be there for me, but then you're not, it's one of those things where it's not that I'm holding you accountable for what you said, but don't fucking play with me right now because I really need someone to be there for me. Yeah.
I've done that too, where like I say, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking give her a try. I'm going to see what, and then boom, and I'm like, that's why I don't do it. Like, I was like, fuck, you know? I'm like, again, why did this happen to me?
Yeah.
You know, then it's like, oh, well, like today some girl told me, she's like, oh, how come you don't give these girls a try? I'm like, I'm not going to settle. If just because you're everything I want, doesn't mean I want it with you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just going to be like, oh, what? You want to do this? Okay, yeah, let's get together. If I don't like you, we don't vibe, or I'm not attracted to you. And then I hate that too, because people are like, oh, you're shallow. And I'm like, how am I shallow?
So there's people that are actually out there and they're just like, fuck it, I'm just going to get with this person and juice them all up, take all their fucking money. I don't give a fuck what they look like. Yeah. But that's true. But in all reality, they're not going to stay there forever. Yeah. So that's just something that they're using for the moment. Yeah. So people can't fucking say some stupid shit like, oh,
no, but I'm saying, when the fuck have you seen some fool, you're like, oh, damn, he's balding? Who the fuck said that, right? When the fuck have you seen like, damn, she got 8 kids? What? Who says that? It's the reality that people are afraid to say, and then once someone says it, oh, he's shallow.
But it's not even being shallow. It's more of
I know what I like.
And then aside from that, you've also had your experiences.
Oh yeah, I've got catfished a lot.
No, stupid.
Fuck, I'm about to start a whole fucking fishing store. I'll start walking around with a fish net.
I guess what I'm trying to say is...
y'all ain't right.
You've been through certain situations where if a female has more than a couple kids, you know where that is going to lead to because it comes with a lot of drama.
Yes.
So obviously, hey, why exactly what you said? Why would I settle? Why would I go ahead and be with that girl that has 8 kids when that's not what I want? Yeah, I'm not going to put myself in that situation. Yeah. Or even when guys get judged for saying, I don't want to be with someone that has kids. That's his preference. Leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah, like that's just because you forgot to take your plan B, you know, that's not his fault. Like, and that's what happens most of the time. That girls be like, "Oh, this was an accident." You're like, "What the fuck?"
Because so if you look at it in their point of view, they're single. They want to go everywhere and anywhere. Yeah. But if this female doesn't have a babysitter, she doesn't have parents, and she's by herself, no one to watch her kids. Yeah. That's gonna stop them from doing whatever it is that he wants to do with this girl. She could be perfect, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Yeah. And people need to stop saying that. Yes, you're shallow. Fuck it. Who cares? No, you're not. Yeah. Who gives a shit? Yeah. At the end of the day, everybody has something to say. And we're going to say it right here and right now. Stop trying to get in his business. He lets you guys hear his stories, but that doesn't make it okay for them.
Yeah, some people get mad, man. The one girl, she was like, you know what? She's like, everything that you say you want, that's me. And you don't even acknowledge me. And I was like, well... I go, if that's how you are, I go, you're a good person. I go, hopefully you find somebody. And she's like, oh, but I'm the one for you. I was like, but I haven't even met you. You know, like, and I can see by your pictures, you're not my type. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, because I'm fat. I'm like, I don't even know, but you're tall. And I don't really like girls. There's a certain preference I have, and it's not you. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? And then it's crazy because, like, I've watched other people to talk about things, right? And I've seen some, like a video of like heavier women, like, oh, these guys that, and they'll talk about like a guy at the gym or something. And I'm like, okay, this man goes probably every day, watches his weight, watches what he eats. They weigh that shit, writes it down, has no cheat days. You come unhealthy as fuck, thinking he's just gonna be with you. Like, he's worried about his health. And if you don't care about your health, why would you even try to get at that fool? If some girl on Instagram was like, you know what? I hate tattoos. Tattoos are ugly. On the face, why would I slide in her DM? And then get mad at her when she rejects me?
Right.
What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And then to put a person in that predicament or that situation where they're like, because me, I try to reply to everybody. Whether it's thank you, cool, whatever. But when it's that thing where it's continuous and I'm like, I want to be like, you're not my type, but I don't want to be a dick. Because I'm just like, okay, thanks, cool, I'm kind of busy, okay. And then again, I'm like, it's like, I want to be nice, you know, but it's like, so that's why if I say what I like, so they can kind of get like, okay, well, that's not what I look like, you know? But then they get girls that look kind of what I'm saying, and then I'm like, fuck. But it just comes with a lot of stuff. And like, to be honest, it's like, I say what I say, and I fuck around, and I'm dumb as fuck when I say shit. But like in reality, I really do wish one day I can get married, you know, and have a good life and just be with one person and know that with what I'm doing, she's going to be there, like no matter what. And she's going to know that nobody's going to take me from her. And I want her to be like, go do that shit, babe. And I want her there with me, you know, and like whatever I do, she knows no matter how many girls try to take pictures or hit me up, she's going to be like, babe, do the damn thing because you're going to go home with me. And I know you're doing this because they're followers and this is what you do. And you're not doing it because you want their attention or because you like them. It's because you're doing this because this is what you are. And you help people. You make people laugh. You do funny raps. You do fucking whatever. And they are watching you. You know, and I wanted a girl that, she, like I said, she knows all eyes are on me, but my eyes are on her. You know, and that's and the same vice versa. You know, like I know, I've always been that way with girls. If I was, I mean, I haven't been like in a lot of them, but when I was with somebody, I knew, not even cocky, but like I knew I was doing my part. Like if you cheated on me, it would be just because you're fucking cock thirsty. I don't know, like you want somebody else. Because I'm not lacking on the physical, the mental, emotional, you know, everything. I'm doing it. So what are you looking for? Mm-hmm. I wasn't lacking on none of that shit. So I know that I got you. So it's like, you should be the same way. You know you got me. You know, and it's like I said, this thing's coming with a lot of stuff. And if I ever do get with somebody, you know, because like I said, some of these girls I haven't even met get toxic, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking meet you now. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at your acting, and we haven't even fucked or got together.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we did those two? Fuck no. I'll probably be on the fucking Channel 11 news. You know what I'm saying? Like a fucking Instagrammer, Dino D, found in different parts of the town. Like, fuck no. But it's like, it's crazy because, and it's crazy because like people think, they're like, oh, well, you think like, oh, because some girls too, like, oh, you think everybody wants you. I'm like, I'm not saying that, but I know I'm a lot of girls type because I work hard. I'm a good dad. I'm compassionate. I'm funny. I can be open. I can cry. I can be emotional. I'm in tune with all that. I'm not like, oh, well, I'm a man. I'm not all that. And then a lot of girls like the way I look because I look like a gangbanger, but I'm not. So they're like, ooh, I get the style, but not the lifestyle. Yeah, I'm not beating her ass. I'm not going to jail. You feel me? She ain't gonna hide my gun in her purse. You feel me? Like, I'm not doing that shit. But they like that. And like I said, I can still be a protector, but they're like, fuck. So I'm all that shit. The only thing, I'm not fucking tall as fuck, but whatever, you know? So it's like, I am a lot of girls' types. And because I'm so open about who I am, a lot of girls, I feel, get attracted to it. Mm-hmm. But because they like who I am, I don't even know nothing about them. Because my life is out there, theirs is not. Yeah. They're following me because of what I do. If I follow back, it's because of the respect that you're following me and I follow you back. But if I follow like fucking 4,000 people, how am I going to see everybody's story? Mm-hmm. I show the respect so they know I acknowledge them and I appreciate them following me. But it's like, I can't really see everybody's stories, but they can all see mine. Yeah. Because almost 40,000 people have in common is me.
Hey, on one of your stories that you posted, you mentioned something about if women can do it, men can do it too. When it comes down to, I'm going to invite you for some food. Do you remember that?
What do you mean?
I'm going to invite you to go eat. And you're like, if someone says that.
Oh, okay. So what do you want to know? Like what I meant by that?
No, or I mean, let's talk about it. Yeah.
No, I'm good. Because like I said, a lot of you girls, don't even lie. Right now, you can check your phone and be like, I'm hungry. Boom, and you'll fucking hit some foot up and he'll take you out. Because there's fools I'll be like, ooh, been waiting their turn, you know? And then if I have that, if I'm that in that like level of fucking attractiveness, I guess, or whatever that is, where girls, because you rarely hear that shit. You rarely hear girls like, oh, I took that fool out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not really big. But if I'm like up there enough where these girls are like, fuck that, he's not asking me, I'm gonna ask him. Why not? I'm just gonna go eat. Other girls do it and fuck, it's okay. If I do it, I'm a whore. I'm hungry too, bitch. I'm sleeping in my car, I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh God.
it's funny because right away girls say, I see you're a player, you're this. What the fuck? But if you go out with all these guys, you're not a hoe?
So would you say, even if the female's not your type and she wants to take you out to eat,
I'll tell him. I'll be like, hey, you know what? Just to let you know, like, this is just gonna go eat. Like, no, I'm like, all right. I'm not gonna fake the funk like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, you're my type, go eat. And be like, fuck you, bitch. But I'll tell them, because there's some where like, because I have been invited to events or concerts and I do go, and then I'm very out there. So if I go and I'm talking to people, there's girls like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? They're like, you came with me, and I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't know it was like that. I thought you just like wanted me to come and like have some fun.
So did you learn your lesson as to now you establish it from the beginning?
Yeah, I make sure I'm like, I didn't know it was cracking, you know? But then you get those girls like, what the fuck? It's not even, then you're like, fuck. Because then you get the girls like, it's not even like, not everybody wants you. And I'm like, oh, God. You know, and it's like, I'm not saying that, but I don't want no fucking crazy ass hyena to follow me in the fucking crowd, you know? Like, people recognize me, and then, you know, like, and then that's crazy too. People be like, I went to the Art of the Bowl concert, and like, fucking almost like 20 plus people recognize me over there. And it's cool because I still don't get like, yeah, it's me. I'm just like, fuck, you know, like, yeah. It's nuts. Because I'll still be like, the fuck? I still have that like mentality, like, watch your shit, you know? Because I'm like, hey, aren't you that one fool? I'm like, what fool? I still get that defensive mode, like, wait. That fucking girl a long time ago, you know? But now it's just like, because that first guy, he was like a big old cholo. And I was waiting right there by the popcorn, and he looks over and he's like, hey, homie. And I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. Because you know the Art of the Bowl, all cholos and cholas, you know? And he goes, hey, aren't you that fool from Instagram? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, fuck, homie, you're fuck. And his like whole fucking vibe changed. You know, like from this big old fucking cholo fool, like, you know, not even smiling. And then from just like, oh, fuck, I watch your videos, Holmes. And I'm like, what the fuck? Hey. To be able to, you know, to bring that inner child out in someone like that, it's crazy.
Yeah. And a lot of times, like I said, people could relate. But because they don't speak on what they're going through or what they have gone through. Yeah. You know, you'll never know that.
Yeah, I'm a little too open sometimes, but I mean, there's some things I don't share, but you know, because I just kid, I'm like, you know, but
hey, sometimes people are like, wait, is he serious?
No, that's the fucked up part. I was just talking about that today, is that sometimes when I am in like a mood and I post something, the things I say, sometimes I'll post something and someone will laugh at it and I'm like, and I'll question it, you know? And they're like, oh, what? Serious? Yeah. And I'm like, I was being serious. They're like, oh, for real? I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah. The fuck, you know? Like one girl too, she was like, you're not homeless. I go, yeah, I am. She's like, no, you're not. I go, yeah, I am. Like I was living in my car, you know, and she's like, for real, like stop fucking with me. I was like, why would I lie about that? Like, you think I'm lying about this so I can get fucking numbers? I'm just open with my people, like. And like I said, because of me being so open, other people had gave me like sources. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, this, that. You could do this. And I was like, oh shit, for real? That helped me out because I was open. Mm-hmm. It's not all about like, oh, poor me. Because fuck it. This is what it is. Yeah. And like we said, that I'm here because I want to be. You know, like I said, I know I can leave. I know I can be with my uncle, fucking chilling over there. I have a job, but then what? How am I going to be happy if the one thing that I live for is not there? Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just a trip with all that Instagram stuff. And like I said, to be honest, if a girl does come at me, if you're going to come at me, make sure you're ready for all this shit. Because like I tell them too, because they're like, oh my God, like you're this and you're perfect. I go, I'm not perfect. I'm terco. You know, if I'm on something, I know I'm gonna be on it. We're gonna argue. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, okay, I'm not doing that. Kissing ass no more. You're fucking wrong, and I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, I'm not doing that. You're fucking wrong. You need to see it if you're wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm fucking wrong.
Well, just like earlier what we were talking about, people are not ready for those uncomfortable conversations.
But they want to be checking phones and shit, right? You're like, hey, wait, what the fuck? I'm like, you're uncomfortable? That'll make you uncomfortable checking my shit?
Are you ready for that?
No, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, like, it's funny because girls are like, you say you want all this, but you don't because I can give it to you. And I'm like, just because you have everything I want doesn't mean I want it with you. Like, we have to vibe. I don't give a fuck if you're everything on my list. If we don't connect, we don't vibe, we don't talk, then what the fuck?
Yeah, and
I could literally just get a girl right now and settle and be chilling. There's girls that I have it all together that want to take care of me. I could be like, all right, fuck it. But I'm not going to do that.
You'd be a sugar baby.
For real. But for what? I'm not going to be, I'm not. Like, I can't do that. She worked hard for all that shit. She did that for her kids. That's her shit. Who the fuck am I to go there and fucking leech off of it? Like I said, sometimes if I take help, I'll take help. If someone wants to help me with something, sometimes it's okay to take some help.
But if they're, if it's one of those things where it's like, hey, come to my house, and then we'll be together or whatever. But
why you say it all like that?
I don't know.
You're like, you're here, I'm here.
Okay.
She's like, oh, I only have one bed, bitch. You sleeping in the tub, you thirsty hoe.
I knew you had some intention.
No, but I mean, like, there's been times if a girl's like, hey, you know what? Like, I just made dinner. If you want to come and take a shower, I'll take it. Because sometimes it is nice to just have some dinner and talk to somebody and fucking shower. Like, it sucks because, like I said, sometimes I either get off of work and I go to the gym and then I shower, sleep in the car, and then wake up. Or I wake up at 4 a.m, go to the gym, fucking work out, shower, get ready for work, pick up my kids, take them to school, go to work, pick them up, drop them off, go to work, gym, so sometimes it is nice to just, and a lot of times I'm by myself. Because if you guys notice my videos, who am I really with? I'm usually by myself. So it's nice to be able to, like I said, when you're around your kids, it's like, shut up, what are you doing? Don't grab that. But it's nice to be like, hey, how was your day? Like, oh, it was cool. Like, that's nice to just have because a lot of times too, if I do ask her, like, hey, we should hang out, like, oh, but we're not gonna fuck, and I'm like, why does it, why can't we just hang out and we can just talk? Sometimes it's nice to just talk. Because
they're used to just, it's like that. It's like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And,
because like I said, I'm not gonna lie, there's some girls that I know, if we've done it before, then, but if that's all that's all you put out there, then that's what it is, Like, you can't get mad, Like, if I always hit you up to smoke, and then one day you hit me up to smoke, and I'm like, why the fuck do you hit me up to smoke? Like, the fuck, fool? Like, you're always blazing it, homie. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most people are like, oh, you only hit me up for sex. Like, that's all you ever gave me. What the fuck? Like, when did you ever just tell me how my day was? You do the same way. You're busy, I'm busy, bust a nut, back to life. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But don't get mad at me when that's all you've ever gave me, and then that's what I expect. And like I said, I could be a man right now and say, hey, if that's what you're doing, that's what I think.
Yeah.
We don't do anything else. So all of a sudden you want to get a conscience or a fucking Jiminy Crickets on your shoulder. Like, he's just fucking you, right? Like, oh, what? What? You think so? That's what she's throwing at me. Like, the fuck am I supposed to do, But like I said, I'm a human being. We have needs. And, sometimes it's easier just to be like, bada bing, bada boom. And you go back home, I go back home, and yeah. But like I said, sometimes it's nice to just have some company. Someone just to fucking, and I like to be little spoon, I ain't gonna lie. Shit, I want to go to this, I don't mean I want a big ass girl fucking spooning me, but, I'm like, but sometimes it's nice just to be fucking held. I don't know, like, to have that touch and that connection and that fucking just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just to feel safe. Right. It might sound stupid, but.
So, because even like low key, Crook's like, yo, I just hit him up, man. He posted some shit that I thought was like some real shit, and like I'll see him share it, the same thing that you shared, and it's a good way of being able to bond with another man. Yeah, well,
did I mention that in the other one? Should have mentioned that right now. That I was thinking about trying to do still on?
It's still on.
Oh shit. So I've been trying to do kind of like an AA meeting for men, for fathers that don't know where to find help or where to go or who to talk to. Like, there might be fathers that we know that are older that already did it all, and maybe they can give us some resources or lawyers or therapists, or even if we just get together and talk about our kids. You know what I mean? Because like I said, we don't really, I do, but a lot of people don't really talk about what they're going through, and who else better than someone who's going through the same thing you're going through?
Or even have play dates with guys.
Yeah.
And hey, we're gonna play cards. We're gonna take the kids out to the park or get together at someone's house, barbecue, and it's a guy thing.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of single dads.
Because the moment the moment you tell your hyena like, hey man, I gotta go out with the boys. Oh, why? You want to see bitches? Want to see bitches? It's like, nah. He wants to just fucking. He needs time too.
Yeah.
Like just because the baby didn't come out of us doesn't mean we don't feel shit. Like the fuck, that wasn't my choice. That's between you and God. Ask him why he put you that was your task. You know what I mean? But we feel.
Yeah.
You know, we hurt, and especially like if you're not with your partner, and you're still trying your hardest, and like I said, I'm not doing my hardest so people could be like, oh, you good job. I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be me, and those gonna be my kids, and you're gonna go to your life, and I'm gonna be doing my life. But it's nice to just like be able to have someone be like, hey man, like we see you, you know, and we got you if you need it. And that would be the thing. Like if some guy's coming, he's like, man, I got a new baby and I'm just trying to get diapers. Like, we can try to help that fool get some diapers. Or hey, man, you got to warm up the bottle like that. Maybe we can have some tips for him too. So that way he's not alone. Because like I said, women, it's right away like, oh, the sisters and tias and friends and oh, he's an asshole. Well, who does that for us? It's not always us.
Yeah.
And sometimes too, like women already naturally and naturally, they're that way to be mothers. You know what I'm saying? Like milk comes out of you guys. Like you're built for that. We're not. So it's like we feel it, but we still need some help.
Like a support group type of thing.
So like if someone's like, hey man, you know what? Like today, fuck, I don't know how to rock my baby. You know, like, hey man, well if you try this, because we're all dads, and maybe we can help each other out with just different tips.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do that so that way we can get some guys together and just be guys, and we can listen. Instead of a woman be like, oh well, I gotta go to work and I gotta feed two kids. Like, okay, I do too. We don't need to hear that shit.
Yeah.
It's good to just tell them, and we could be like, nah, man, we feel that. No, don't trip, man. And we have a place to go, feel safe, talk about it, then we can go back and get it off our chest. And then we'll be able to be back on the grind because we let it go. Instead of getting drunk and fucking around and being stupid and then coming back all fucking, you know?
Because a lot of times it's easier for men to talk with another man than to even express that to his wife or to his girlfriend, baby mom.
I've had fucking banged out fools hit me up. Banged out fools telling me like, hey man, I fucking cried. I had fools messaging me, like voice messaging me back and forth, and I'll talk to them. They'll cry to me, man. But here's my number. I'll talk to those fools. I'll never tell them that nah. Especially if they're like, you know what, I need you. I'll fucking stop what I'm doing and I'll call them. Because it's like, if their last resort is to a stranger, then something's wrong.
I think because you make it so easy for people to be open with you, you know? That people appreciate that. Once again, it's like that's one of the beauties of having social media. Yeah. That back in the days, us growing up, there was none of that.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You told your sister, it's just like, shut up, fool. You being a bitch? No, but it's like, you're right, because I've had people talk to me and they're like, I can't believe I just told you all that. And I'm like, well, because I'm listening. I'm not like, well, maybe you deserved it. You know, like, you know, people are like, well, you know, it's done right. And you're like, shut the fuck up. I hate people like that. It's like, can't you just listen? Shut the fuck up and listen. I know what I'm doing wrong. Yeah. This is why I'm talking about it. This is why I'm feeling this way. Yeah. I don't need you to tell me I'm doing wrong. You know, so I just listen, and I make jokes, and then I bring them back to life. Yeah. And then they just kind of forget what they were thinking about. Well, that was my interview, guys, and fucking, you know, we came back again and talk about some other stuff. It's kind of on a different tip this time. But like I always say, like I told the last interview, and I will say every other interview after this one, if you guys ever need someone to talk to about some problems, if you need some advice or just someone to listen, I'll do that for you, know? Especially you fathers out there. If you're out there, man, we matter. And just keep being a good dad, man. And this is my interview, Making Changes.
One of them.
More to come.
Yes.